Picture this. You are sitting at a coffee shop, trying to focus, and the person at the next table is dominating the space. They are talking loudly on the phone, dropping names, and clearly making sure everyone in the room hears how important they are. Your jaw clenches. Your heart rate ticks up. You feel a sudden, intense spike of irritation radiating through your chest at their sheer arrogance. In that moment, you are absolutely certain your assessment is a rational observation of reality. You are quietly noting a character flaw that is plainly visible to anyone with common sense. Pointing out their obnoxiousness, even just in your own head, feels incredibly validating. It gives you a clean, crisp rush of superiority, confirming that you know the right way to behave, and they clearly do not. But that rush of superiority is a smokescreen. The harsh critiques we direct at strangers rarely have anything to do with them. They are actually a hidden biological defense mechanism operating right behind our own eyes. This is the exact location of the biological culprit, a small almond-shaped structure deep in the temporal lobe called the amygdala. The amygdala is the brain's primary threat detection center, responsible for processing fearful and threatening stimuli. Its original evolutionary logic was straightforward. If an early human stepped on a rustling pile of leaves, this node acted as a rapid response alarm system, flooding the body with adrenaline to escape a hidden snake or a stalking predator. Today, our daily environments are largely stripped of those physical predators, so this highly sensitive threat detection software adapted to scan for social dangers, deploying its ancient alarms to protect an entirely abstract concept, the human ego. When your brain spots a behavior in someone else that threatens your sense of self, it goes on the offensive. By labeling that person as annoying or arrogant, your brain triggers a release of dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical messenger that plays a major role in how we feel pleasure and reward. That quick hit of chemical reward makes you feel secure. The sudden wave of irritation you feel at the loud talker in the coffee shop is simply your ancient survival hardware misfiring to protect a fragile self-image. The primary threat the ego detects is our own suppressed shame. We all carry quiet, buried fears that we aren't smart enough, quiet enough, or successful enough to belong. This illustrates the mechanical process of how we hide those fears. The system takes a deeply felt internal insecurity, processes it through the amygdala, and projects it outward as a harsh criticism of somebody else. These outward criticisms construct what psychologists call psychological shields. A psychological shield is a cognitive defense mechanism deployed specifically to deflect uncomfortable scrutiny away from the self. By aggressively pointing out the loud talker's arrogance, your brain essentially shines a massive spotlight on them. It is a frantic diversion tactic designed to keep the auditorium dark everywhere else, so you never have to examine your own fear of taking up too much space. The intensity of your irritation is directly proportional to the vulnerability you are trying to hide. The louder and harsher your judgment of another person becomes, the harder that shield is working to bury your own deep-seated insecurity. The flaws we see most vividly, the ones that trigger the most visceral disgust in us when we watch other people, are nearly always the exact flaws we secretly fear we possess. We call this the mirror effect. Instead of treating our strong irritations as objective facts about the world, we can view them as diagnostic indicators. A diagnostic indicator is a specific sign or symptom used to identify the presence of a deeper condition, in this case, our own unhealed emotional wounds. Realizing that your most righteous anger is a reflection of your own hidden shame is incredibly threatening to the ego. It strips away that dopamine rush of superiority and leaves you feeling exposed. Sitting with that exposure is the first step in recalibrating our neural responses. Neural recalibration is the conscious process of weakening automatic, reactive brain pathways and strengthening new, deliberate pathways for thought. This shows how to consciously interrupt that biological cycle. When you feel a sudden spike of hostility toward a stranger, you deliberately pause. You stop the fast, automatic reflex to judge and divert that mental energy into a slower, analytical pathway, asking yourself, why does this specific behavior bother me so much? Over time, redirecting this energy produces radical empathy. Radical empathy is the active, intentional effort to understand and share the feelings of another person, built on the recognition that we all share the same human flaws. By treating every harsh judgment as an opportunity to look inward, we stop fighting shadows in the people around us. We drop our shields, we end the frantic diversion, and begin the quiet work of actual emotional healing.